Let someone else go first, little Bob. Any questions about any aspect of the Christian faith?
Bob, why did John send the two people to confirm that Jesus was the Messiah whilst he was in prison?
Right. So remember, at Jesus' baptism, before John the Baptist goes to prison, he says, "This is the one that I was telling you to expect, the one whose laces I am not worthy to untie." So how, if John recognizes that Jesus is the Messiah, does he later send disciples to go and ask of Jesus? Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, again, emotional intelligence. We all can have our moments of doubt. John wasn't perfect. He was a human being. And there were lots of expectations that at the coming of the Messiah, he would overthrow the Romans and establish the rule of God. But think about where John is when he sends his disciples. He's in prison. Do you think he's happy? Do you think he might have suffered from depression? Do you think in those moments of depression and despair, he might have had a moment of doubt where he needed to reaffirm? Sorry, whatever I've dropped, can I pick back up? Did I drop that or you, bro?
Canadian.
What?
Canadian dog.
Okay. Right. So, ladies and gentlemen, John in the prison had doubts because he was in a prison cell, and trust me, they're not modern prisons, right? He was suffering from depression, and in the moment of his depression, he had a moment of doubt, and he needed to reaffirm what he knew to be true. And he wanted to hear again from the lips of the man himself. And that's why he sent out his disciples to inquire. Again, it's about remembering the realities of the people in the story, remembering the realities of the context in which the story occurs, and allowing for the humanity of the characters in the story. And when you do that, 9 times out of 10, all the apparent prima facie contradictions disappear. Any other questions? Go on, little Bob.
Finally, okay, so
It's like, do you notice his sudden sense of relief? It's like Sheldon, you know, like, he's, I've got to do it. Go on, little Bob.
I saw recently you had a R.L. Solberg on your on a live stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically he's an anti-nominalist. I want to ask, I've been getting interested into pro-nominalism from a ministry called 119 Ministries, run by David Wilber, someone who's debated him. What's your view on pro-nominalism? Are you a pro-nominalist or an anti-nominalist?
Right, I've heard those terms, but off the top of my head, I don't remember what they mean. So you'll have to define the terms.
Nominal is nomos in Greek law of Moses, the Torah.
Right.
Pro-nominalist means following the Torah, that we should follow it.
Right.
And anti means we shouldn't.
Let's be clear.
Yeah.
Are you a Jew?
I'm not Jewish. No.
Then the law was not given to you. That answers the question. You don't follow the law of Moses because it was never given to you to follow.
Yeah.
But, ladies and gentlemen, what about Messianic Jews? Do they follow the law of Moses? They follow the law of Moses as it is translated into the new covenant.
Right.
A Messianic Jew does not believe that we need temple sacrifices. A Messianic Jew does not believe that we need circumcision to be saved. But they can get circumcised. And if there was a temple, they can go to the temple and participate in the temple sacrifices, as Paul does when he goes to Jerusalem. But the Mosaic law is translated into the new covenant and takes on a new meaning in the new covenant. But for Gentiles, this is a total non-question, because the Mosaic law was never given to Gentiles, And so the question of whether Gentiles need to follow the Mosaic law is always no.
Yeah.
So how come a Moabite
No,
joined Israel? Like,
I've answered your question.
Yo, Bob, be nice.
Right. So, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
I want to go and ask a Muslim a question.
Yeah. Go on,
But
Bob.
before I do,
Yeah.
I want to see about going to get a cup of tea.
Yeah.
Anyone who would like to join me for a cup of tea and going to that cafe over there, if you want to come and get me a cup of, if you want to come and have a cup of tea with me, let's go over there and get a cup of tea. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, go on, Bob. See you
Apologetics hero, brother.
Count of 3. 1, 2, 1, 3.